Hi, I'm the financial failure, and let me tell you how I lost 80K of my income and how I'll likely never be able to see that money again. So first, I would like to talk about what this channel is about, why I even made this channel, and why I think a lot of people are just completely lying to themselves.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Just like everybody, I wanted to be rich.
Oh, really?
So I worked hard, studied hard. I started watching YouTubes and I started seeing things like make $500 a day selling crypto and NFTs. I saw videos saying, oh, I made $1 million. Randomly, I see a video that's saying, oh, well, now I bought my 18th Toro car or something similar. To me, none of those things are ever going to work for the average person, and they didn't work for me either. Not to say that I did all of those things, but a majority of them, they really don't work. Ultimately, I was like, well, there's so much of these videos out here, people saying that they've done this, they've done that. Happy for them, but I also thought this isn't something for the general people. Like, it might be, but maybe not. So I said, well, what if I do the complete opposite of what these guys are doing? And I make a video where it's just solely about my financial failures. What better than to listen to somebody say, okay, this is definitely not gonna work, and or how about you just work a little bit harder doing it if you really truly want it to work. So that's what I'm trying to do on my channel, which ultimately brings me here. So I mean, let's talk about the 80K. I didn't buy NFT for 120,000 and sell it for 40,000. That's not how I lost 80K. I really lost that 80K with the typical 9 to 5. So I kind of want to talk about 9 to 5s, their misconceptions, and then also like how I lost money with a 9 to 5 of all things. So I'm sure you've all heard financial gurus talking about
Some men are just not born that way. Some men are born with something else inside of them, with a fire inside of them, which cannot be extinguished by beans on toast, TV at night, 9 to 5, sitting around with your wife, a couple blowjobs a month.
And you know what? Some of those financial gurus are actually partially right when they talk about 9 to 5s. However, you know, if you don't have the money nor the time to really put into a business, you're not gonna go far doing, you know, those typical little scams that they try to promote. Ultimately, a 9 to 5 is probably your best bet. Like, if you're just starting, trying to find work, I mean, working at a fast food joint is just fine. Or, you know, you're a college graduate, working at one of those big accounting firms seems pretty sweet. It all depends on your current situation. Now, for me, I was a college graduate. I got my degree, I got my master's degree, I chose cyber security, and I also did like some tech things on the side as well. And that was just the best route forward for me because my focus was really the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Didn't really care about what I was doing as long as it could bring in money, so that's what I chose, and I sort of climbed up the ladder doing that. It just wasn't good enough. I felt like I capped. Before the whole pandemic thing, I saw people working remote, and I said, well, that's pretty cool. So I decided to teach myself how to code, taught myself how to code in like 3 months, and then I landed a remote job.
Hey, that's pretty good.
With that remote job, I sort of started thinking of a more devious plan. My devious plan was really just to work 2 remote jobs. Actually paid off pretty well. So I worked those 2 remote jobs. Once I got them, one was as a software developer, and the other one was in a conflict of interest, and it was just me doing cybersecurity work. Doing both of those jobs, I was able to sort of have this freedom that, you know, was really cool to just have in general. But then additionally, like, have a lot of income because these are 2 full-time jobs that I was doing, and you really can't beat that. I did that for probably like 2 years, and my income was huge.
That's what she said.
Just imagine, like, you know, you have your income as a coder and you have your income as cybersecurity. Like, you're gonna be spending all sorts of money which I'll talk about in other episodes, where that was a financial failure in itself, just how much money I spent because I had these two jobs. But besides that, I decided that I wanted to quit these two jobs. That was probably a mistake. So I quit the two jobs and then I went to one job. The one job only paid like slightly more than one of the two jobs, but then my income drastically decreased. That's where the whole 80,000 loss comes from. Now I know that's really a short story and probably doesn't tell you too much, but really I want to emphasize like the mistake where I had it really good doing a 9-to-5 of all things, and I also had the time where I could, you know, code out a project. And if you were really decent with however you formulated your code and made sure that, you know, you QA'd it yourself, once you were done with that, if it took you an hour, you're done. You're done for the whole week, depending on your sprint. And then in regards to cybersecurity, I've been working in cyber for so long that, you know, doing a cybersecurity assessment on a certain system didn't take me much time at all. So having both of those things just not taking that much time and then having a lot of free time on my hand and having the income of two tech jobs is something that I instantly regret now, quitting my job and then having that sort of extra income. I guess more so the financial failures that come along with having more income is that you also start to increase spending in other things. And I really want to save that for another time, but it was just a horrible mistake. And I really want to also talk about the misconceptions of 9-to-5. People say you can't make money with a 9-to-5. That is totally incorrect. You can make a crap ton of money working a 9-to-5. Either you can work the one job and then climb up the ladder. That works just fine. As long as you're a hard worker, you should be a-okay doing that method. Or you can do the remote method and do what I did, or not be as shifty as me and maybe just work remote, but then also ask your company if like it's okay for you to actually start that business.
Write that down, write that down!
And then you'll have that freedom of, you know, working remote. At some point of your career, you'll move from 40 hours a week to 30 hours a week to 20 hours a week of like actual work. Then you'll have free time for your business and your other endeavors. So really hope that people don't make the same mistake that I did. When you get to that certain level where you're good enough to even work those two jobs, have all that freedom, you should thinking about all the blessings that you have doing that and not sort of make the same mistake as me. That's my financial failure. There's plenty more that kind of deal with that. And yeah, later.